Paige West here from Procurement Pro, and I'm in Las Vegas this week at the EDS Leadership Summit. And joining me right now is Mike Slater, VP of Global Business Development at DigiKey. So thanks very much for joining us, Mike. How are you? How's Vegas been so far?
I'm doing well, and thank you for having us. Vegas has been fantastic. It's always good to come here and see all of our partners and suppliers and the energy that the week has. It's just been it's been a phenomenal week.
And speaking of energy, we've just come from your breakfast that you've hosted this year, where obviously we heard from you and we heard from Dave. So for those that didn't attend, why don't you give us some key takeaways from the meeting this morning?
Yeah, absolutely. So key takeaways, we're excited what's going on in the business right now. The last few years in our industry has been pretty cyclical as normal, but we're seeing a lot of a lot of tailwinds, and we're seeing a lot of goodness in just all areas of the business. Mm-hmm. And so we're really excited. We think that we're past the worst of the industry down cycle. And our customers are engaged, they're doing designs, and we're seeing just more activity than we've seen in a few years.
I loved the optimism, and I think the industry certainly needs that at the minute. So you have added more than 100 new suppliers in Q1 of 2025. So what role does your expanded product offering and supplier base play in meeting evolving customer demands?
Yeah, we do listen to our customers. We look at the web activity. We look at our technologies in what we're serving today, and because we want to be a one-stop shop for our customers. Mm-hmm. And so with the amount of new products that come out and the new technology, we really need to continue to look at making sure we've got the expanded breadth of product, and we've got that expanded supply base to pull from, so that we can stay up with the evolving demands from a customer standpoint.
And following on from that, how are you differentiating yourself in this highly competitive market at the minute?
Yeah, I think we're differentiating ourselves on the web more than anything else. We certainly want to be easy to do business with. We want to be local for our customers, but the e-commerce experience is really where we want to differentiate ourselves. We want to reach engineers. We want to make sure that we have all the data at their fingertips, really 24/7, anytime they want to do it. We want to have everything really comprehensive on the website. We also want to have features that make their lives easier. So how do they make sure that when they're searching for something, we make it really easy to find? Or if they're they're looking at designing in product, how do we make sure that the website guides them in the right direction and understands kind of what they're looking for? So for us, a lot of the differentiating is definitely on the website.
And are you launching any new digital tools or integrating AI at all?
Yeah, and you maybe heard about it in the breakfast there. We had some tools that we're doing internally and externally. We're using AI all throughout our business. We use it in marketing, we're using it on the website, mm-hmm. and we're always looking at ways to enhance the customer experience, and AI is a big piece of that. I think we're just scratching the surface like a lot of people.
Yeah. But
we have a lot of things in the works right now.
Fantastic. It's good to hear you're making that investment. And are there any particular markets or trends that you're seeing at the moment?
Well, we're seeing, as I mentioned, we're seeing a lot of positivity overall in the market, mm-hmm. But we are seeing certainly pockets of probably differentiated growth in the wireless space. Continues to be really strong. Wireless IoT space, energy continues to be strong. Those are some of the main areas that we're seeing strength in. The industrial customer base, which is certainly our main customer base, has started to really now to come back as well. So they were definitely struggling for the last few years, but mm-hmm. we're seeing a lot of strength in that space too.
Fantastic. And obviously a key topic of conversation this week has been tariffs and some supply chain uncertainty. So what's DigiKey's stance on that, and what are you hearing from your customers?
Well, there's certainly a lot of concern and a lot of activity around tariffs, both internally and from a customer standpoint. They just want to be informed. Yeah. They want to know, what they're getting themselves into, and they want to make decisions based on that. So we're really trying to make it easy for them to figure out if they're looking at a part that may have a tariff or it might not. That's on our website. Mm-hmm. How do we make sure that they're informed, they have the data they need to make their decisions? And then, from the customer side of things, we have a free trade zone in Thief River Falls. Mm-hmm. We want to work with our suppliers to do everything we can to make it as palatable as it can be for the customers. So we definitely are trying to leverage the free trade zone and again empower the customer to make the decision with the data.
And what are you hearing from customers right now about lead times and availability?
Well, overall, customers I think still feel that the availability is really strong. So for the last few years, inventory has been, very deep out there. So they've been easily able to get product. That's changing a bit.
Yeah.
And so lead times are starting to go out in certain pockets of technology, but customers haven't really adapted to that yet. So they're still thinking lead times are really short in all cases, and they also believe that they can get product inside a lead time. And I do think that's changing. So they got to be careful to make sure that, when it is 12 weeks or 14 weeks and we start talking about lead times, some of these are, lead times that people can't improve.
Yeah.
So we've got to start taking a little bit, maybe a little closer look at making sure they plan far enough in advance.
Okay. And what's the key priority for DigiKey for the next 12 to 18 months?
Well, our key priority is absolutely growing our customer base. I mean, we want to continue to make investments in the web, make investments in being local for customers. We want to make sure if a customer wants to buy in a different currency, they need local invoice, they want local support, local tech support. All of that is something that we've really dove in on, and we want to make sure we do a really good job of. Because we believe we're just scratching the surface. We're approaching 1 million customers, yet we know there's an enormous amount of customers we're still not touching out there. So how do we continue to expand our customer base? And we do that through partnering with more suppliers, having a wider selection of product, being super easy to do business with.
And is there a key message that you're sharing here at EDS this week?
I think our key message is, we just want to partner with our suppliers and partner with our customers. And so, we're humble in the fact that, we're here to serve the customers, and so let's make sure we're understanding what are their needs, and we love it when customers give us feedback, and we love it when suppliers give us feedback, because then we understand what they're looking for, and maybe where we haven't done something on the web that they're looking at, and how do we make sure we're listening and making adjustments. So we really want to partner with everybody, and we love the feedback.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for the optimistic message. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, and enjoy the rest of the week.
No, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Yep.